Novations. We're going to go over some common mistakes to avoid. Okay, so from doing tons of JV deals with people all across the country, we've got a very unique perspective on these deals, right? I lead a group, Rainmaker Novations. We've got over 400 members in there, okay, from all across the country. Some people are newer to wholesale. A lot of these guys are seasoned vets where they're doing 10, 15, 20 deals a month, right? So we've got a very unique perspective on this. Now, here's a couple things I'll get you. And this will be good for the newer people and for some more seasoned wholesalers that maybe you've done a couple novations, you haven't really got into them yet. A few things. One, it's really important. You need a softer approach with this type of deal. So when you get the lead and you have some information on it, you see it's not like a rundown house, I would suggest to immediately have a softer touch with the deal and be more inquisitive, be more understanding, and look to just hear from their situation. Because here's the deal. The house isn't jacked up. It's not going to be about the house. It's going to be more about their situation. Now, how do you get these people to open up? How do you get them to open up? Well, you got to talk about the timeline. That's going to be one thing that's going to help them open up. You need to talk about where they're going to go next. That's another thing that's going to help open them up. Talking about the price is not going to help them open up. So I don't recommend talking about the price in the front end. Okay, you want to save that for later. Timeline, occupancy, where they're going next, and then get into very specific granular detail about the property itself. Okay, so the way we have it set up, and the way it is in the script and the training, we're asking everything about the house, the age of the roof, right? The condition of the kitchen. We're not just saying what's the condition of the kitchen. We're having them get into what type of cabinets. What are the countertops like? Tile backsplash. The appliances, are they black, white, stainless steel, or a mixture? What's all the flooring like? Get into all the stuff about the house because that's going to buy you time with the seller. And it's also going to open up conversation to talk about the stuff that we really need to talk to. Okay, you need to spend some time on the phone with them. This isn't going to be something that's going to be a wham bam thank you ma'am where you're going to have a 15-minute call and you're going to make $100,000 on a novation. Okay, because generally speaking, the good deals are the ones that are like over $200,000 for the most part. Okay, so we're not talking about like $50,000 properties where the people will just sell them at like a blink of the eye. Right? And a lot of these, you're dealing with more sophisticated people because they're in a higher price point house. And you really need to get good at digging into their situation. So not spending enough time with the seller. That's another common mistake that people make. They make it all about the house. Okay? Besides that, okay, anchoring. Another problem that people make is they go back and forth with offers where they throw out a low ball, the seller counters, and they go back and forth. Now, the issue with this is it creates a lot of friction, okay? And it's not as big of a deal with the wholesale deal because you're just offering to buy their house, okay? But with these types of deals, they're coming on a journey with us to the promised land. And if they are having too much friction with you, it's going to be hard for them to jump on board, okay? So the way we do anchoring is we set the stage first where we tell them we have a systematized process that's similar to banks and lenders. Okay, we also are naming low cash comps, but there's a process on how we do that. Everything that we do, there's always like a best way to do it. So you first set the stage that we're using a systematized process. Then you also pad it with you're not the final decision maker, but this is what you're seeing in the area just to give them some facts of the neighborhood. And then we're talking about cash deals. Okay, cash comps. They're looking for a cash offer, so we need to show them cash comps. You can't show them the on-market stuff because that's not a fair comparison. Now, you can do that, but then you need to back out, realtor commissions, closing costs, repairs, time. You need to name all the differences. And when we name a comp, we always go over all the things that are most similar first, and we name the price and the address last. Okay? So you need to build it up. You can't just get Eager Beaver and just, yeah, your neighbor on Twitter stole for, you can't go into all that. You have to build it up slowly. It's very important. It's much easier to overcome objections before they happen than to try to clean up the mess and argue back and forth once the objections have already been voiced. So this is like just a sales thing in general. It's always starts with a story. You build it up, and then you make your point. You redirect it back to them with more leading questions. Okay? So we're getting them with the low cash comps. We're giving them a low tentative range. We're not giving them an actual offer. It's a low tentative range. After we've named some low cash comps and we've anchored them low, we then give them a low tentative range of, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm not sure where the final offer is going to come in at, but it looks like investors have been paying somewhere between X and Y. Make that range a big enough range where the top of the range is still below your max allowable offer, and the bottom of your range, there's a good amount of space in there. So even if they're coming up to the top of the range, which they normally will, or obviously above the range, they're not in the range, it still feels like a win, and you're covering enough ground where you're not giving them a $5,000 range. That's like the same thing as an offer. You may as well just give them an offer at that point. You're giving them the range, but here's the important reason why. You got to leave tension. Tension. Tension is what makes the magic happen. And people want to be reassuring them, and there's an important time for that. Okay, but when you're negotiating, there has to be the tension there. There's no tension. There's no negotiation. Nobody's mind's changing. It's them negotiating with you because someone's going to feel the tension. It's either going to be you or them. So if you're not putting the tension on having them moving the needle, they're putting the tension on you, and now you're chasing them. Okay, and that's not an effective position to take with these types of deals. So if they're getting at or close to your range, okay, what you can do, the best thing to do is leave them waiting on a decision and then go to novationjv.com and submit your lead to us. Okay. And then we will call you. We'll get all the information we need, and we'll have you do a 3-way call with us, and we'll give you our warm handoff script to basically read off to the seller that's going to pass the lead from you to us, and then we will literally do all the work. We will get it under contract. We'll hire the realtors. We'll pay for any repairs that need to be done. You have the option to either split it 50-50 with us, or I'll pay the whole thing, and then I just get my money and my money back at the end. But you get 40% of the deal, minus the repairs in that arrangement. You get 40% of the deal just for sending the lead. And if you look at some of my recent lives, like we were on a call with a realtor, my closer, about a septic system that now has a $12,000 repair. It's supposed to close on Friday. It's supposed to close tomorrow. It ain't closing tomorrow. And I'm probably going to have to pay some of their bills. It's a whole mess, right? These deals do get messy. I'm not going to lie. Like, you can make a lot of money with this, but it's not necessarily easy. Now, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but they do get messy and they do get complicated, especially at scale. So I want to keep this live short. Hopefully you learn, there's some good value in there in the front end. Now, if you want to learn how to do these whole deals front to back, just go to novationking.com. You can get the blueprint. People ask me, oh, you must do a lot of JVs with people in your course. It's like, actually, no, hardly ever. All the people I do JVs with are the people that don't want to buy the course. Because people that buy the course, they just do their own deals. But I'm more than happy to do deals with you. It's obviously a pretty easy proposition. You send the lead. You make 40% of the deal just for sending the lead over. But yeah, tap in. I'm going to do some live calls today. I'm on Instagram and YouTube. So YouTube, here's Instagram, and vice versa. Definitely check me out. Instagram, check me out on YouTube. I'm going to be posting a lot more live calls. I'm going to be it's at Novation King on YouTube. I'm going to be doing my live call videos. I'm going to start posting on there more. So definitely peep that out. And if you're on YouTube, definitely check out my Instagram at Novation King, because there I post daily content. I get a lot more traction there. My YouTube's pretty much brand new. So if you're looking to connect with other wholesalers, my comment section is like the who's who of wholesaling. And yeah, peep that out. I post on my stories every day, all that good stuff. So tapping out for now. Let's go.